I'll call the meeting to order at 1:35 p.m. I have approval of agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, agenda's approved.
Roll call.
Yeah, we need a roll call, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Tom?
Thomas Garcia.
Patsy Adams Warnock.
Go ahead, Alice.
Alice McDonald.
Aletha Bonebreak.
Andrea Berglund?
Oh, Josh Westbrook.
Okay.
Okay.
Declare a quorum.
We have a quorum, and we are going to discuss the revised Section 2 A and B of our district bylaws.
This is your moment.
Patsy, here we go.
All right. I've read the information that Aletha sent out. Since I was serving on the board at that time, this is how we planned to do it. So I move that we accept, is number 2, is that right? Yeah. Adopt the revised bylaws dated October
She's got it.
8th, 2013, in which Section 2 was rewritten to clearly reflect the process adopted by the county commissioners for appointments to the Library Board of Trustees under their statutory authority.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so it is revised as written,
Thank you.
and you'll pass that on to...
I have a signature. Yeah, signature. Says right there.
Okay.
There's a place for her to sign.
Yes. Thank you.
So now we are going to receive instructions from Bradbury Associates.
Well, you guys have all gone through this before, so there's not much to tell you, except the person's going to be here in person. And we've got the copy of the questions. Karen revised them with the last revision, so I think these are up to date. Anything you want to say about this, Karen?
Just so you know which ones I'm referring, or I adjusted a little bit. The first one, I added, what would you hope to gain experience-wise from us, to kind of incorporate what Rich was talking about. We did have kind of if we worded it exactly, I think we would have, like a duplication of some questions we
I
did before.
noticed that too, yeah.
So that's why I tried to just sort of
Uh-huh.
zhuzh it. On 3, I changed it from strengths to observations, based on her recommendation, and then I just replaced my number 5 with the one that Aletha came up with, because I thought it was great.
Great.
Those are the changes that I made.
Perfect.
So, we will bring the candidates in one at a time and have 55 minutes of face time with them if they take all the time. I would guess that your 13 questions are probably going to take 45 minutes. So there should be a good solid 10 minutes at the end for any questions they have for you. And it is a good idea to let them ask those, because this will be potentially their last shot to see what their concerns are. Assigning the questions and how the order in which you want to ask them. Introductions, again, when we bring the candidate in, we'll kind of point them to the chair, and depending on the candidate, they may want to shake hands with you. We'll just kind of say, this is your chair. And usually that's their cue, just to go ahead and sit down rather than go and introduce. But some of them just want to do it that way because that's their style. And we'll just let whatever happens happen. And once we will have questions or copies of the questions in front of them here. They've not seen them before, but this keeps them from, especially with some of the compound questions of writing down, they can just follow along. So they'll be judging your reading. So, no, just kidding. But, anyway, we think it makes it a lot easier for them.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Ruth and Alice are on the phone. Do you think it's important for them to participate in the round, or should they just be listening?
I think it's gonna be their call or your call. You know, whatever makes the most sense to you. I don't know. Alice, how's your vision? Well, you don't have copies of the questions.
No, she doesn't.
No, I have the old copy of the questions. I have the 14, but I would prefer to just listen.
Okay,
I really would.
okay, that's good.
And Ruth's not a shy person. She will interject her
If she has
follow-up
a-
if she
yeah.
has.
If she
follow-up.
has to. So the rotation would be among the four of us, probably.
Now, who's
That
going
makes
to
sense.
explain about the?
You're the chair of the search
You're the
committee.
search chair.
Oh,
Who's-
It'll be
who's on
turned
the
over
phone?
to you just as soon, won't it?
Yeah, I think that would be a
Tell them, so it's
good way to do it.
surprise.
yeah, I mean,
Well, we always brief them before we bring them in. I'll be happy to tell them.
yes, why don't you tell them that two people are?
Sure, I'll be happy to.
Yes,
Okay.
because that's,
Yeah, and is, Patsy, are you going to function as as the lead today? So we'll introduce them to you first. Is that?
are you wanting me to do that?
She's the board chair, I don't.
You're the board chair.
It doesn't matter to me. It's a detail. It does
Do
not
they think they're
matter.
talking to the search committee or the board?
This is search committee. But they know that the
But you'll
search committee
introduce
is
each
the board.
person
Well,
as what they
yeah,
are.
yeah.
So just introduce as their function, and then let Patsy take the first question and take, like we did
That-
before.
that
It's very
makes
obvious then that
Yeah.
she's
All
running the
right,
meeting.
so let's divvy up the numbers then.
Okay.
Okay, so which way are you gonna go, Patsy?
Which one do you want?
I don't care.
I'll do prime numbers.
You don't.
I'm not logarithmic.
It's not a bad idea to kind of mix them up rather than go, you know, like this.
Oh,
all right.
You know, so prime numbers is a good start. People can.
He's gotta figure out what the
If you can do your
prime,
prime.
look, let's just,
All right, since you're the big mouth
Take my
about
shoes
it,
off
you
here.
pick it.
so which one? do you-
Patsy gets number one.
I get number one.
Okay, so that's Patsy. Okay, why don't you take number 2?
Okay. I got
That's
number two.
Andrea. And Tom, why don't you take number 3?
All right.
And I'll take number 4. And then, if you wanna do the same kind of rotation, you can keep track of yourselves,
Yeah, I think that's easy.
unless you wanna mix it up even more.
It doesn't
It's,
matter.
as long as we're not going, it's fine
Yeah,
for us
I
to do
think
it this
so.
way.
They won't
They won't be,
figure out the
They won't
pattern by the
figure-
end of the.
Or we can go backwards and then.
Oh, yeah! And then start at the middle and go, ow!
so Tom is on 7.
Wait, okay, Patsy's 5.
I
Yep,
think we may have overcome.
Andrea's 6, Tom
Andrea's
is
6.
7,
See, he's getting his prime numbers.
and then Aletha's 8,
Okay,
Patsy's 9,
mm-hmm,
Andrea's 10.
right. Tom,
Tom is on 11.
yep. Aleth is 12. And Patsy.
No, I should ask the last one.
Oh, well then, how about Andrea? That'll really fool him. Unless Tom wants his prime again.
No, I'm good.
Doesn't matter.
Really, I hate to deprive you of one of the,
Good, I got more.
you got most of them.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I'll be able to
Okay.
sleep tonight.
So Andrea, you ask 13,
Do you want to ask the last one, or do you want to ask 13?
and then you do 14. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, now, do you actually expect us to keep this
Patsy's
faithfully now? This thing?
It's totally up to you.
It's totally up to us.
Yeah, you don't need to keep it at all.
Uh-huh,
or
okay.
you can.
Okay,
Were we
If
supposed to
if
turn
you
them in last time?
do, you should.
Only
turn
if you've
in.
done it.
Yeah.
only if you did it.
Well, I have mine at home, sitting on the table.
Now, one more thing. Once we conclude the last interview, we'll do the thing with the, ranking your top 3 in order again. And then we'll throw that up on the board. And Alice, can you text where you are?
Yeah, I can. Or I can either email, I've got an iPad.
Oh, okay, why don't
I
you
could e-
email Joe Beth, your top
Okay.
3 when we get to that point, and we'll ask Ruth to do the same thing.
What if you don't want one of the 4 or 3?
You only put
What if you only
Just 2. Or if you want one, just do one.
Right,
No
so
more
you,
than
you
three.
don't have to put down a name that you absolutely don't want.
No, absolutely not. So,
Okay.
now, after we do that quick sort then, we will share comments from the staff input.
Uh-huh.
Jo Beth is tabulating those, and I think there's probably only gonna be 10 or 12 sets, so we might just copy those off. Normally, we do some sort of, so each of you will have a set and can kind of read through those and see what their comments are. And then open the discussion, and then hopefully come to a decision and empower us to make the offer, and we're off and running. Okay?
If you think those comments from the staff are really important, is there any way she could scan them in really fast?
Why couldn't you,
Yes.
why can't you speak
Yeah, I
them?
scan all of them, they'll be like forms.
Why can't you speak them to all of us?
Read them?
I mean, after we do our gut stuff, are there so many?
No, I can read them.
Because Ruth will be on the
Because Ruth
phone
will be
too.
needing
Yeah,
it.
I can just read them.
Oh, okay.
I think that would be really nice.
Yeah.
That'd
Okay.
be easier than printing them.
You just sit right here and just read
What
them.
about if you have a
would
gut
like to see
feeling
them.
you do not want one of these people, period?
I'll make a copy.
Well, that's what Aletha was saying. Just don't,
I'm sorry, I just need.
don't
Keep
put
them off
them
your
on a
list, just do
ranking.
one or two and keep them
Yeah.
off the list.
Yeah, you've got 4, so if you want only 2 of the 4, that, just put 2 on the list, but in rank order, preferably.
But we cannot come to a,
Can't take a vote.
cannot vote.
Yeah, what we're going to get to is what we think is a consensus.
Right.
And we will
Right.
interpret that consensus.
Right.
That's right.
And
then-
based on that, we
Then
will.
we'll know when we need to go.
And then we go public.
Right, okay.
It's just the straws.
Okay, now you've got,
Good
12
heavens.
minutes to
Oh, we're so
look at
efficient.
each other, or?
What, okay, I missed the part where 13, 14. Patsy was 14
You're
and I
doing 13, yeah.
Okay, I knew there was a reason I didn't.
I'll just
Yeah.
can you tell me yourself and Alice real quick, just because you can, or?
Adjourning executive session at 6:38 and back into open session. And we're discussing the selection of executive director and an offer tendered.
Okay. So,
We had 4 candidates, A, B, C, D. And everyone has told the Bradbury Associates their preference. There is an obvious candidate A from our individual preferences. Do I hear any motions?
I move we authorize Bradbury Associates to offer candidate A the position of Executive Director of the Walla County Rural Library District.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Ruth? Oh, you're not a board member. Sorry.
That's a search committee.
The search
Is
committee.
any opposed? Passes to give Bradbury authorization to give candidate A,
Offer
Offer.
candidate A the position.
yes.
And do you want to include a salary?
Well, that's our next,
That's the next
we're gonna
one.
discuss the
Now we
compensation.
need to
Yeah,
discuss
we're gonna
the
discuss compensation as our
That's right.
second item.
And I want to say that I understand that candidate A requires a bit more time than the timeline we've been talking about. I am willing to stay to meet candidate A's needs and work with candidate A in the transition. And I don't want that to be a problem in negotiating a package.
Thank you.
At all.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
okay,
We appreciate that.
okay. So I needed to say that because, yeah, and we can manage that. Okay, so that's one thought. And
So candidate A had a request for compensation and it was within our range.
true,
If we would like to discuss, anyone can discuss anything.
well, I can say that candidate A has a lot of experience and the request, or the expectation is mid-range of our, in the middle of our range.
For advertised range.
Yes, the
Yeah.
advertised range, so to me, it seems very reasonable. Of course, I'm not a board member, I'm simply your director, so that's my opinion, because,
I just would like candidate A to know the range, though, and the STEP program. I think
Yeah.
that would be good for them to understand
It
what they're
would.
getting into and the longevity of, there's no promise beyond that range. There
That-
may be someday down the road,
Yeah.
but they need to be very clear in knowing that at this point, that's the range.
that's right,
And they're coming in the middle. So I think
okay.
that has to be communicated clearly.
Position was listed at
66
66 to 74.
Okay. Now, the range, of course, increases by at least 1% a year. And that was in our published material.
Okay.
So if that were next year at this time, the range would be 1% higher.
Right. So, do we have any motions for giving the candidate the mid-range that she asked for, or discussions on this point?
It's about mid-range.
No, it isn't.
It isn't?
It's
No,
higher, a
it's a
little
higher than middle.
mid-range.
Higher.
It might
Coming
even
in
be
like
step
step
4.
4, I
Yeah.
think.
But
Do you want me
this
to-
is a woman with lots of experience.
Yes,
Do you want me to go get
Yes, why don't
the
you?
actual range?
yeah, I think,
So you have an actual number?
Well, the number, there's a number on the ad, which we thought was the range number.
It is, but if you take,
74.2.
if you take mid-range, then you don't know what the number is at that particular
wanna
step.
go to the-
It might be 72 to 12, or something
if
like.
we're doing it
See what
according
I'm
to
saying?
steps.
But it doesn't matter what you say, but we could plug it in at the step number, or,
Can we change that step number without having to go, I mean, we have that's already set, that step number. We should see what step is
Yeah,
closest
can you go
to
get the
her.
step
get
number?
the
Yeah,
step
we can
number?
communicate better if we know what
we know
step.
what
it's
step-
yeah, I'm only saying that you guys have the right to even put the director in an entirely different scale.
That's true.
You have the right to do
But our
that.
budget's pretty,
Well, the point is, everything else has to be in this matrix because there are a lot of people in these categories, and fairness is what we've tried to achieve. The
Okay.
director is in a different category. So,
Did you pull the ad up?
Yes. My laptop, actually.
The advertised range is 67.3 to 74.2. That's the advertised.
yeah, I know.
range.
67.3
How many years?
or 66.3?
67.3 to 74.2.
Okay, 67.3
It's 2 terms.
to 74.2.
No, Walla. But they have a beer something you can bring back. That place right there. Okay. Let me see.
If you all on the phone can hang with us, Aletha went to get the range of the matrix, or the exact numbers in the matrix.
Sure, hanging on.
Okay.
It's been a long day, I know.
What do you mean? It's my husband's birthday.
It's a
He's
quarter
gonna
till
be
10 at
sad.
my house.
See, last time we had a meeting, it was
14th
your
hour.
brother's birthday.
Yep, and now it's my
your
husband's birthday. Last year it was
When's
on
your
my
birthday?
birthday, next Tuesday.
Okay.
Last year we had a meeting on my birthday. Isn't
I
that
thought we
sad?
had.
Yeah.
No, Margaret, they kind of stopped meaning anything.
What?
I just get to that point, I was like, I can
Now,
vote, I can drink.
one other thing, I'm assuming that you want us to do the background investigation, so all this is
Yes.
contingent
Yeah,
upon
yeah,
a
yeah.
successful
Uh-huh.
background
Do we need to
investigation.
say that in our?
Okay.
No, but that's part of our,
Yeah.
Should I have said that contingent
No.
on
You
successful
don't need to,
background?
that was
Okay.
the
That was-
prior
That was
understanding.
the
Yep.
understanding, yeah.
If we find anything horrible, I guess we can make a new motion to retract,
we're
I
not gonna find
guess.
anything, we're gonna be
No,
thrilled.
I know.
where's my, okay, who's got a calculator?
Right here.
Okay, what you do is take 35.36 times 2080 times 1.01. Well, you did something wrong.
Okay, say it one more time.
$35
$35.36,
times 2080
2080
equals
equal.
$28.80 or 20.
73,548. So that is step 3. So step 2 is the 70,000.
Okay, write it down.
Okay, whatever. 73. Well, let's try this. Okay, take $33.67. Multiply it times 2080.
2080 is 2,880 or 2880?
2,080. 2080 equals times
Technology.
times
Figure out a side.
1.01. 1.01. 1.01. 7733.
Uh-oh, what are we doing
859.
here?
It doesn't matter. We're not getting to the 72.
You're pretty,
What's the closest step?
I don't
Let's
know.
go backwards.
Take 72,000 and
divided
divide it
by-
by 2080.
72,000 divided by.
That's not right either.
0.80.
No.
34.61.
2,000.
34.61, and that's 72,000, right?
Well, you know.
So
let's
yeah,
just-
I'll just change the matrix for the director. Go ahead and
72.
figure out.
2,000.
Yeah,
72,000.
and I'll just fix the matrix.
Does that seem reasonable?
To work.
Industry-wide, that's,
Oh yeah.
You feel that's reasonable?
I think it's what this district deserves. I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's too little.
I think it's a comfortable number for the
All right.
area.
So, then you're going to offer in negotiations
I'll just fix the matrix.
with Bradbury.
Easier than that.
Yeah, just, well, you're going to, the motion would be to, you're offering her the position of director.
Which we had that,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay, and the starting salary, at a starting salary of 72,000. With benefits the same as all full-time staff. And a relocation allowance of $3,000.
Good deal.
It seems like a very fair offer
Yeah,
for what we're
it's a
asking.
Do we
fair
need to
offer.
put a start date in that, or we'll just, that's something you guys are
Oh,
going to
you guys
negotiate?
You're going- you're
Let's
gonna work.
try to get as early as you can.
Get her as early as you can,
Relocation costs,
but
relocation
she's a
stipend,
winner.
what do you call it?
No, just
Relocation expenses?
relocation expenses up to $3,000.
With, what do you call the evidence, with the receipts? With receipts?
We'll make sure that that's in the offer letter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Do we know if she's been out looking for other jobs?
Down to bottom there, so you can make sense of it.
Okay.
We'll have to read it.
We don't get to eat, I'll tell you that.
I move to offer candidate A a starting salary of $72,000 with benefits the same as other full-time staff and a relocation expenses up to $3,000.
Relocation allowance.
Allowance, excuse me.
Second,
We have a second. All in favor, say aye to the relocation package and salary.
Aye.
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 So moved.
Great.
I think that's all. We can adjourn at 6:50.
Congratulations.
Congratulations is right.